Today, I am grateful for. Imagine if you started every day with that sentence before your feet even hit the floor. Maybe you do, because here's the thing, and I know I've shared this before, that studies actually show that when you start your day with 2 minutes of gratitude, that's before you pick up your phone and start scrolling, or you're looking at the news or reading the newspaper for 3 minutes. Those 2 minutes when you start your day in gratitude lead to a 27% more likelihood of having a good day 6 to 8 hours later. 27%. That is a big percentage of happiness and gratitude to leave on the table. So, what if you took a deep breath and took that sentence to heart? Today, I am grateful for what? You choose how to finish that sentence. And as we continue to celebrate National Gratitude Month and prepare to jump into this holiday season, I wanted to take a moment to show my gratitude to you, the listener, for being here week after week. So I decided to hand that microphone over to you to hear your stories, your gratitude moments. Okay, I asked you to share your voice of gratitude. And what you shared and what I've gotten back, and it was so fun listening to these, was not only inspiring and moving and touching and thoughtful, it was also courageous and vulnerable. And that shows strength every time each and every one of you pressed record to share those thoughts. It was really quite incredible. And it made me think I really need to do this more often. I really want to hear more beautiful stories from you for tuning in every week. I know you have something to share and something to say. And I know that I couldn't have done this episode without you. So thank you. I also could not have done this gratitude giveaway that we're doing without Grateful Peoples. Now, they're the ones that donated the gratitude journal that we are giving away to one of you who shared your voice on this episode. If you missed episode 135 with Teddy Droseros, Teddy is the founder of Grateful Peoples, an organization that is on a mission to put gratitude journals in the hands of school children all over the world. This is a journal that one of you is going to receive. It is amazing, made on a 100% recycled paper and plant-based ink. And then, if you have other items that you would like to think about with gratitude, you can also think about getting the book, right? This is something that is in his store. So we're going to share more about that. And you're going to find out the winner. So keep tuning in. Okay, so let's get our gratitude on. Such a variety of shares here. It's amazing what you find yourself saying when you begin with gratitude and it comes from the heart. And Carol from Westchester County, New York, my old stomping grounds where I am from, did that so authentically. It was so beautiful. And I really wanted to start out the episode with Carol's message. So here is what she had to say.
I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for my wonderful husband who has my back at all times. And I'm grateful for the beautiful friends that surround me. Thanks, Hilary.
Carol, you are so welcome. What a beautiful moment to hold dear to your heart. I can only imagine your friends and your beloved feel the same. That bond that makes it so easy to be there for people that you care about and that you love. So thank you. And that takes us to our next share. Tony in the UK, he pressed record at a time that he wasn't feeling his best. And I love this share because sometimes those are the moments where we really need to remind ourselves and really check ourselves, right? And Tony and I know each other. We're both havening practitioners. He's incredible. But sometimes even when you have these tools, when you're teaching these tools, you need to get a slight nudge from other people that care about you as well. And sometimes when you're in those low moments, you need that reminder of how fortunate you really are. I mean, think about it. When you're not feeling your best, you have nothing to do but think because you're resting. You've got time, and boy, there are thousands of thoughts that fill that mind of yours, right? And if you're going to fill it with thoughts, you might as well fill it with a space of gratitude.
Hi, Hilary. Tony Burgess here. I've been a bit under the weather, the last week, and nothing very serious, just a throat infection. Being honest, it got me a bit grumpy at times. It also got me reflecting on all the things I could be grateful for. With everything going on in the world at the moment, I get a small illness and I'm able to get the right medical checkup, prescribe penicillin easily. I've got a loving wife who nudged me to go for that checkup when I was trying to manage it on my own. Turned out she was absolutely right. And just come back to a warm house, a choice of foods, choice of things that I can drink, rest and warm. So grateful, so grateful.
So grateful indeed. Thank you so much for sharing, Tony. In September, I did an episode focusing on secondary trauma or secondary traumatic stress and how it really impacts each and every one of us. And I even shared a little bit about my story when I was a young journalist and I was on the news desk that day during 9/11. And that was during episode 129, about where I was, how I faced my own battles after that day. And I imagine each and every one of us have a story from 9/11 and other events that have occurred that might have impacted us in a similar way, how we managed it, where we were, how do we cope with it in the days and the months and the years that followed, right? And really, it takes us to the present. How is it impacting us right now? When Rebecca heard that episode, it struck a chord, and that is what caused her to press record.
Hi, Hilary. This is Rebecca Clark. I just wanted to thank you for your podcast. At the time of 9/11, I was 36 years old, and I was, I guess, about 7 months pregnant with my second child, and watching the plane hit the second World Tower. At the time, I just dropped to my knees. We had just moved to Beverly, Massachusetts, just north of Boston. And just a thought of, gosh, I could have been on that plane. I was on planes back and forth to Washington, D.C., where we lived at the time. It just had an effect on me. And I realize now that this was probably some kind of secondary trauma that I was feeling. But thanks to your broadcast, I'm feeling so much better. It dissipated as I was listening to you.
Rebecca, I am so glad that you are feeling better, but most importantly, the fact that you have this awareness of how that day and any upsets that might be impacting you, the first step to any change is understanding it, to learn how to manage it, to how to support your own well-being. So thank yourself for being able to hug it out and put yourself first. And I have to say, one thing I love is seeing how our younger generation is truly in touch. They're taking care of the planet. They're taking care of listening to what other people have to say. And truly, they are starting to really take care of themselves. And when it comes to their physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, they really have their finger on the pulse. As a college professor, I hear it all the time. In fact, I find myself having more and more conversations with my students, talking to them about their own mental health so openly and comfortably. And it can be on any topic, right? And they're taking the time to express and be present, which I love. And it's in that space that I call the perfect now, that time and space that is right here, right before us, and not letting it just be a fleeting moment that passes by, but really being present. And if you don't believe me, maybe you just need to hear it from somebody that is around that age that has something to share. So let's hear from Anna Grace.
I'm on my morning walk, afternoon, but what better time to say that I'm grateful for where I live. I just moved here, and I'm taking it in every day. I just moved to the city for college, and I'm grateful for my family and the greatest friends I've made at college so far. And it's been a difficult couple months, but I'm very happy to know the people that I do. And every day I see something new and something else sparks my mind to be grateful to be here. And of course, I'm grateful for Hilary. But I have so many things to be grateful for. So thank you for thinking of me. And enjoy this episode of Holistically Speaking.
That is just so beautiful, Anna Grace. Thank you so much for sharing. To be able to be aware of those difficulties that you face and realize that even when everything seems topsy-turvy, you still have space for gratitude, right? Because as I've mentioned before, the weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Be like the weeble, get right back up, right? And really be able to take time to appreciate what's around you whenever you need it. That moment that I call the perfect now. Not letting even the smallest things that bring you joy pass you by. That shows growth. Just really proud of you. And those bumps in the road, they happen at any age, by the way. I still go through them. Those painful and challenging moments, those are what lead us to understanding our purpose more. And if you're open to it, if you're willing to learn from it, and I know I have, you might realize that it's all happening for a reason. If you just surrender and release and trust that all is well, even in those difficult times, when the silence is sometimes deafening, you'll find your way because you trust, just like Brooke did.
When I first was divorced 7 years ago, I would get very anxious driving home to my new home because I knew I was going to be alone the rest of the evening. And I could feel the anxiety building in my stomach as I got closer to the house because, again, after raising kids and having a busy lifestyle, I had a very small world where I came home and just stayed home all evening. Now, I am really grateful for the time I had by myself because I have figured out who I am. I know what I like, what I don't like, what I want, what I don't want. I have specific goals. I know so much more about me than I ever did before my alone time. So I am so grateful for the time alone. Being by myself is a blessing, and I am thankful for that.
Brooke, I couldn't agree with you more. That time alone, that beautiful solitude is so important for our growth. And it's such a huge part of what I mean when I talk about needing to hug it out with yourselves, that HUG, right? That healing and understanding and gratitude towards self. Because once we do that, it's really amazing what comes into our lives. I've been there. I understand divorce, and sometimes it's not pretty. But when we do the work, when we take the time, and when we make a choice to make a list and then be the list, well, you'll see what comes into your life. And what you want in your life actually just aligns with you and shows up. But I'll let Chris share more with you about that.
Hi, this is Chris from Virginia, and I would just like to take a few moments to express my gratitude to Hilary Russo being in my life. She has brought my life so much warmth, kindness, and genuine nurturing to a level that I really never knew possible. And she's also inadvertently somehow added to my knowledge of my own family history. And my world has just become warmer, brighter, and richer just for her being in my life. And I'm also grateful to myself for actually attracting such a wonderful human being. And that's about it. So thank you, Hilary Russo.
Thank you, my love. So much gratitude for what you bring into my life as well. And I'm really glad that we could share it here on Holistically Speaking. Sometimes it is the people we know personally that are the gifts in our lives, right? And other times, the gratitude that we feel might be towards someone that absolutely has no clue how they have touched, moved, or inspired us. But I am going to let Gabby tell you about that story.
Hello, I'm Gabby Alcalá. I'm the host of 𝗂𝗏𝘆, a podcast in English and in Spanish, where I interview people that are not necessarily famous, but that are impacting their communities. I want to thank 𝗂𝗏𝘆 for amazing work she's doing in the podcast world. Keep doing that because you're helping a lot of people do better in podcasts.
Gabby, I'll have to agree with you on that. Ariel is a great source of information to podcasters everywhere. And if you take a listen to episode 79, she was actually a guest on the HIListically Speaking podcast, and she had so much great advice to share with those at the mic. So definitely take a listen. And HIListically speaking of being a service, I was pleasantly surprised when I received this next gratitude moment. But then I had to think about it. How could a guy who is dedicating his entire life to gratitude not share his thoughts on the show, right? I think you'll agree.
My name is Teddy, and I'm actually the founder of Grateful Peoples. And besides being grateful to Hilary for spreading the word about our work through her podcast, I was feeling really grateful today for just the access I have to fresh water and just having a fridge stacked with food. You know, it's a luxury that is really easy to take for granted and that a lot of people don't get to have. So today I'm just grateful for the necessities that get me to the next day, and especially the people in my life that, you know, allow me to just feel good and have a good life.
And Teddy, we are grateful to you as well for spreading your gratitude, for spreading your joy through your beautiful books and journals, which brings me to our giveaway, the Grateful People's Gratitude Giveaway. We have one lucky winner, somebody who submitted their voice that you heard right here on the show. And the winner of the Gratitude Journal is Brooke. Brooke, I'm going to be sending you this beautiful Grateful People's Gratitude Journal. If you already have one, you can even pay it forward or share it with somebody else. This journal, again, is on completely recycled paper. It is made with plant-based ink. And every one of these, if you purchase one too, if anyone wants to purchase one, the proceeds go towards putting gratitude journals in school children's hands all over the world. You can also purchase the Grateful People's Gratitude Journal book, which has all of these beautiful moments that share gratitude moments from people that Teddy has come across in his life. And Brooke, I'll be sending you that journal, so be on the lookout. I'm going to be getting in touch with you. All right. If you want to learn more about Grateful People's or how you can donate a journal or you can purchase a journal or give it as a gift, you can tune into episode 135 to hear more about Teddy's story, and I'll share all the details in the podcast notes. I got to tell you, this has been such a wonderful experience. Hearing all of your voices of gratitude in your moments, I cannot thank you enough for all that's submitted, and I'm truly better because of you. And you can still share your kind words. Just because we did this episode doesn't mean I want to just stop there. I still want to hear your voice. You can go to speakpipe.com/HIListically speaking and just share. I love hearing what you have to say, what you have to share. So press record anytime you are moved to do so. And if this episode touched, moved, and inspired you in any way, like it did me, consider leaving a rating or review wherever you listen, wherever you tune in. It could be Apple Podcasts, it could be Spotify, or even YouTube. I love reading your comments. I love knowing what you have to think about a show, an episode, a guest. Just let me know how you think. And that link is also in the listen notes to share your thoughts. And I'm going to read them. And I'm grateful every day that I get a chance to read what you have to share about this show. Okay? HIListically Speaking is grateful for the editing done by Two Market Media. Of course, the music that is written and produced by my friend Lipone Redding, and of course, listened to by all of you. So thank you so much. I am wishing all who are celebrating a wonderful Thanksgiving. And remember, it only takes 2 minutes to change your day when you start it with gratitude. So be kind to yourself. Be kind to others, and most importantly, be kind to your mind. I love you. I'm grateful for you, and I will see you next week.
I know